like your parents were. You are the secret force of hope.
They're moving real fast, they're the only one who can get there on time. They're never too far behind, they're always fighting crime. Undercover or facing adventure in the danger zone. Pretty soon they'll be off on a mission. Come and watch them go. Bright doesn't shine. What's the highest and show? Bright doesn't shine. Wonder how the road. Bright doesn't shine. Just sit back and watch them go.
Welcome to Saturday Morning Fever, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Ken Johnson, and today we're going to look at the wonderful world of Nintendo. Now, Nintendo is beloved by a lot of different people for the games they create, but not usually as much for the shows they create. I mean, sure, Pokemon ended up becoming a worldwide phenomenon that continues to this day, but most of the other shows they tried in the 90s didn't really work that well. The main ones that most people point to are the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, Captain N the Game Master,
Captain N, the Game Master.
and the infamous Legend of Zelda cartoon.
Hey, excuse me, princess.
Yeah, we'll get to that one on another day. There is, in fact, one more show that may rival all of these shows and be truly one of the most, debatably most interesting, but for sure probably the worst of these three shows. I am talking, of course, of the infamously bad Donkey Kong Country, the animated series. Now, Donkey Kong Country at least had characters that had somewhat of previously built personalities you could build off of, and it was revolutionary in how it was able to approach something closer to what we refer to today as 3D animation. That being said, them trying to take that same approach with the animated show did not quite go as well. In the late 90s, most of the shows that we had with CGI were absolutely horrible. I mean, at least if you look at a show like Reboot, you can make the excuse that since the plot of the show was based on this idea of technology and kind of being inside the internet and being about stuff like that, it made the aesthetic of everything being made out of CGI look a little bit better. With something like Donkey Kong, where everything looks admittedly cartoony but overall realistic, things don't turn out that well, especially when the hyper-realistic quote-unquote environment that they're going for, especially when the quote-unquote hyper-realistic aesthetic they're going for applies to these characters, it leaves a couple of things that just come off really strange. I mean, I don't mean to be that kind of person, but when you look at the way that these characters are animated or the way that they gyrate around, I just feel like this is a show where I'm constantly asking either why no one is wearing pants or why there aren't just black sensor bars just flying everywhere. I mean, there's even a scene with a pirate during one episode when his belly button is literally floating in front of his body because they couldn't manage to animate the episode properly.
Look at that guy's belly button. That thing is scary.
It's fallen off his body like 6 times already. See, you can if you listen carefully, you can literally hear the sound of the creators getting high in the background.
just bong hits in the back.
Yeah. And did I mention this happens to also be a musical show?
If you don't help me, then it looks like with thee. Someone get my teeth back. Someone get
It sounds like a drunk George Thorogood song. On helium.
Just slightly.
On the day I was born!
I'm down with being down. I know what you're thinking. He's a genius, cause I am, cause I'm cranky. I got my finger on the beat, yeah, I'm cranky. The oldest, wisest ape you'll ever meet.
You like snow. Me like ice. Me like you. You so nice.
Yeah, because when you think Donkey Kong Country and the edgy nature thereof, you totally think of Broadway musical numbers every single episode of the 40-episode run of the show. That's right, 40 episodes! Someone made a 20-episode season of this show and decided, we need 20 more! I mean, it's hard to imagine how a lot of these shows got made. I know everything got greenlit far longer than they usually got made with these kind of shows, but at the same point, this is a show I still can't make up my mind about it, with just how ridiculously absurd the show is. I mean, it's a guilty pleasure show with an emphasis on the guilty. I can't tell if I love to hate the show or I hate to love this show. And while I can't go out of my way to recommend this show as a thing to actually watch, I will definitely recommend the show as just something to behold and to acknowledge to yourself that it actually exists, and make us appreciate how far CGI animated shows have come in the years since 1997. That's all the time we have for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Please sure to like, favorite, and subscribe below. I hope you like this new format of Saturday Morning Fever, and we hope to have new episodes out every Saturday from now on. With that being said, tune in next week as we look at Captain N the Game Master on Saturday Morning Fever.